Hey, everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today we're going to be going over the status of the console version Rust in June of 2021. So this is going to be covering the Xbox version Rust and the PlayStation version Rust. If you're playing the PC, get out of here because you've probably got a better game than we do. Anyways, actually you do, I've played it. That's not a dig at the console version Rust. The PC version Rust has been around for a lot longer, so they do have more stuff. Anyways, if you're here about Hotel Overdrive is still going strong. A few people decided to take their doors instead of staying at the hotel, and it is what it is. We're going to replace those doors, and we're going to get people back in there. There have been no additional rooms, but I will be adding some shortly, so stay tuned for that. I can't really make any more videos about Hotel Overdrive. There was a raid, it was defended, but if I show you that, the next person watching this that decides to be an asshole might be able to succeed. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about today, though, is... And if you're wondering about Hotel Overdrive, that was literally yesterday's video. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is the status of the console version Rust in June of 2021. So 2021 was a rough year for the console version Rust so far, and June of 2021 was a rough year for the console version Rust because basically the console version Rust released and it was an utter catastrophe. I've got a ton of videos documenting that and going in depth, so we're just going to go over sort of the bullet points here. But what happened was it released first off, players with early access couldn't use gunpowder. They couldn't get past tier 1, and that really sucked. Then those players decided they're just going to grind out sulfur, grind out the gear, grind out the scrap, and then they're going to use it when the update comes that enables gunpowder and tier 2 equipment. But unfortunately, when that update came, it wiped the servers. So players who put in the most time ended up being the most disappointed, just like their moms. Anyways, after that, for the Series S and X and the PlayStation 5, the game was running okay. There were some crashes, there were some issues, but it seemed okay. But on last gen consoles, the PS4 and that Xbox One, it was horrible. The game kept crashing, the game kept lagging, players literally couldn't get anywhere. It was a slideshow simulator, and people were wondering if they had been tricked or conned out of $60. Then comes the patch, and things got worse. For the Xbox users, the patch came out first, and instead of fixing any issues, all it did was keep you on the load screen, which means you no longer experience crash or lag or any of the bugs people are complaining about, but you didn't experience the game either, and that is not really what people wanted. So people were understandably upset. Unfortunately, it took D11 4 whole days to fix this issue. They made the mistake of pushing this patch out on a Friday, which meant even though they got it fixed Saturday, Sunday, Microsoft wasn't in the office and they weren't able to approve that patch until later in the week. So Xbox players were stuck twiddling their thumbs and staring at a TV screen. Normally a game going down isn't a problem, but if you're a hardcore Rust player or Rust player in general, you know that nobody has a life. So people were stuck sitting there staring at a screen, or they were forced to go outside, which is something the general public does not want because they don't want to look at Rust players. You guys are like looking... We're not going to get into that because I think I'd get demonetized. Anyways, so things eventually did get patched and players could go on and they could start playing the game, but there were still some issues for Xbox. Then the patch came for PlayStation, and it was, again, a catastrophe. First off, PlayStation players were unable to play the game. They were stuck waiting for this patch, and this patch was stuck in limbo. Sony would not approve the patch, so D11 kept basically going and retrying it. And when I say Sony wouldn't approve the patch, this is all just rumors and speculation. There was some sort of issue where D11 kept saying the patch is coming, and it never came. And after 2 long weeks, to the rejoice of many degenerates, the patch finally showed up, and it showed up big. It was patch 1.03.2, which meant PlayStation players were now completely up to date. A lot of the blue screen issues completely disappeared. Lag went down quite significantly for last-gen consoles. For the PlayStation 5, there was literally almost no issues whatsoever, at least that's what I've been told, and players could now play the game. So PlayStation players rejoiced. Unfortunately, Xbox players still had a few more days to go, but patch 1.03.2 did finally come to the Xbox, and I'm happy to report on my Xbox One, the game is actually running fairly smoothly. I can play for hours on end without any crashes, and I'm getting very little lag except when someone fires a gun, an explosion goes off, or something crazy happens. Most of the monuments are running fairly smoothly for me, and in this new wipe, I've had a really good experience. I've been able to create Overdrive Hotel, which there's a video before if you're interested in that, and some cool little concepts that I've been able to play with, and I haven't really had any lag. I haven't had any real issues. There have been some little like jolts and things like that when people fire guns and stuff like that, but overall, it is a much better better experience than what I was experiencing 1 month ago. So I've got to say hats off to D11. They did not do a good job of launching this game. Things were extremely rough off the bat, but they've managed to sort of right the ship, and I feel like right now this is a playable game that I'd be happy to recommend to people and happy to recommend to my friends. So here's what I've got to say to you. If you bought the console version of Rust, this might be the time to get back into it. We're still early days. There's still going to be a lot of skin stuff coming out. There's going to be more monuments released. It seems like in this latest wipe, sewer branch and I think gas station have been pulled out of the maps. I don't know why that is, but overall the maps actually are running a lot smoother, even with pumpkins. So Overdrive Hotel has a good amount of players there, and they've planted pumpkins literally across the field. And the game runs fine for me. I haven't been having the lag that I was experiencing earlier and the lag that I was complaining about earlier. So it seems like we are on the right path, and it seems like even for those last-gen players, you are going to get a 25 to 30 FPS experience when everything is said and done. And honestly, I think that is the best that we can hope for, because if you're playing on an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 and you're hoping for 60 FPS or something more than that, you're sort of crazy, right? Because you're talking about hardware and you're talking about things that cost like a couple $100 almost 10 years ago. An Xbox One right now is probably something you could get for like $100 to $200. Used. Actually, I don't even know what they sell for new, but you could get an Xbox or a PlayStation pretty cheap right now. A PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. An original Xbox or PlayStation might be collector's items now, so people are paying like 10 million Charizard cards for them. I don't know. Anyways, you could get these things pretty cheap, and given the game that Rust is, and given the amount of money that you've got to spend on a PC to play it, that is an incredible feat. Despite the lag, despite all of these issues, we have to realize that this is a game that on the PC would cost you thousands of dollars to play. I literally paid a couple $100 to upgrade my hard drive, or actually I paid $100 to upgrade my hard drive just because it was taking me 30 minutes to load into the PC version of Rust. The console version of Rust I can load in under a few minutes, and I do not have an SSD in that thing, right? On the PC, I literally had to get an M2 SSD so that I could load in 4 minutes, and people are still thinking that that is crazy talk because of how fast it is, right? 4-minute load times are insanely fast for Rust. That tells you what state and how much money you need to spend to get a good experience on the PC, and the fact that on the console you can get something runnable, something workable, something playable for a couple $100 is quite impressive. And that's not to say that people shouldn't complain, because here's my overall take on it. We have the right to complain about a product that was sold to us under false pretenses. If someone says this will run on an Xbox One, we have the right to expect it to run on the Xbox One. Same with the PlayStation 4, same with the Series and the PlayStation 5. If we're told it'll run on it, we have the right to expect that. And I think that is what people are expecting, and that is why people are complaining. I think personally, this is what I went into it expecting. This current version of Rust is sort of what I was expecting to get out of the Xbox One. It's what I was looking for, and this is what I really wanted to see. If this had come out initially, I probably wouldn't have made any videos complaining about the game, even though you guys do like those videos a lot more somehow. But yeah, overall, this is what I was looking for. This is what I'm happy to take, and this is what I'm happy to pay $60 for. So overall, it took a month, but D11 is there, and this is finally a game we can recommend. It is finally a game that'll run on hardware that costs literally less used than the SSD that I bought to play Rust on the PC. Think about that. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. This is a little bit longer. It's more of a free-form video. I don't know if people are into that, but hopefully you are. If you're looking for something more edited, just a slight channel update here, the Hotel Overdrive videos are going to be coming out. There's some really insane stuff that's been happening around that, but the thing I don't want to do is release a video right now and give someone the edge when it comes to rating me. So those videos are going to be backdated a bit, but I'm really excited for them, and in the process of editing them, we might have to drop off these daily Rust videos, but we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to grind everything out. I'm trying to make it happen, but I've got responsibilities. I've got a job. I've got stuff to do, and I've got my own sort of mental health to maintain. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. 25,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone for me. I really do appreciate it. My overall goal, end of the world goal, I guess, 100,000 subscribers, just so I can get that silver play button, because I think that'd be sort of a cool thing to have. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope it all comes through the microphone. Until next time, peace.